it's just very methodical. You know, if he's showing something, you do this. You know,
Yeah.
if you get 2 10s, you split them. You just have just a bunch of rules you follow. Okay. Yeah, you make lots of friends at the craps table. Okay, good. Well, you're on. We're going there. I'll just stand beside you and ride your throws.
Yeah, craps. Poker's fun. Poker can take a lot out of you, though, if you're doing it right. You'd be there for a long time.
Jake was banned from casinos. All right, so it looks like getting back to markets, looks like we have put in a bit of a double bottom here on SPY. It looks like this 322.70, 675 level held twice. 9 as a moving average, and the 20, it's trading above both right now. They're kind of flattening out, so I think we're maybe going to get half an hour left. Might get some action into the close here. Yeah, no, it definitely, I mean, as yeah, we can talk about that for a second here on the 1 versus a 5. I mean, a lot of traders use one, you know, either 1 or 2 minute charts, and then they'll use 5 or 15. So if you're trading, you know, after the market's been open for a while, you know, you'll use the 1 as a way to get a good entry, but you know, you'll use the 5 and the 15 to confirm the overall direction of the direction of the trade, whether it's up or down. So, you know, we have this one trade called the bootsy reversal, right? The booty reversal. Yeah, which is basically you wait for a number of things to happen, but you know, you're looking at the 5 and the 15 to go green. And there has to be a cross of a moving average too, I think. I don't. That's not in my trade book, so I don't.
Yeah,
I don't.
It wasn't one of my targeted trades. But I think so. I don't know the specifics of it. But, yeah.
Peter, are you back with us? Okay.
Yeah, I am. Sorry. I think I double tapped the microphone mute button, so I think I came back online, and then I realized that and took it all off. So.
Tu parles en français avec Francis?
With François, oui, monsieur. Je lui parlais en français.
You're going to confuse everybody.
But you know, you do what you can. So it was more comfortable for him. Yeah, so as I said, unfortunately, I haven't had a lot of time to focus on the markets here because I've been doing all these reference checks.
Just don't check my reference, whatever you do.
You know, it's funny because in any process, reference checks are important, but you hope that it's just a rubber stamp, right? Like, especially when you're hiring into senior roles, you would hope somebody's smart enough not to give them a reference that's going to say, "What? I would never hire this person. What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
So if they do, then obviously that's a big red flag. But other than that, just be a rubber stamp. But, anyway.
Yeah, I know I've called people for references and they've been surprised that I was calling. Like, the person who gave me the reference didn't actually ask or let them know.
Yeah.
So it's kind of awkward.
Yeah, exactly. I said that's what I'm looking for in this. Really, it's just, you know, I'm coming, then it's probably going to be good. All right, we can sort of just put a check mark in the box, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah. Anyways, I said my experience has been that happens more with junior people than senior people because they just they don't think about it as much.
Yeah.
And they don't have as big a network. But anyways.
All right. So Donkey Kong is sort of finding a footing here and
Oh yeah.
foggy
Wait a second.
pop.
Where's my trade? Oh, I'm out. How did that happen? I got stopped out. Dang it. Oh well. Never
So the
mind.
dollar, U.S. dollar is strengthening up today. It's interesting. It's kind of looks like it's found a bottom here. Gold and silver just continue to look horrible.
Silver's been surprising at how horrible it's been.
Yeah, totally. What is so is SPI? SPI is still halted, eh? Halted on the way up this time.
It halted and then it opened and now it's halted again. So I'm not sure what time the halt opens up back up on it.
Last trade was 1534, so got another 3 minutes roughly. Pretty close, actually closer to 1535. So yeah, all of them. JNUG, Nugget, GDX, GDXJ, all breaking down
it's
to
open right now.
big lows. Oh, that's weird.
There
You're
goes
right.
SPI.
18. Yeah.
It's going to be crazy going into the close. Can you imagine? Would you want to be holding this overnight?
No.
I said, when you guys look at those daily charts and, you know, when you find those stocks with those giant candles, this is one in the making. So,
yeah.
Like, there's no way, right? You know that there's at least a $25 to $30 wick at the top of this thing because there's no way this thing is getting back up to $45 today.
Nope.
I would not be surprised if it gaps up. We'll see, depending on how it closes out the day. But I wouldn't be surprised to see it gap up.
What was the news on it?
Yes, the news on it was getting into the electric vehicle business. See, I told you that. We just had to have a public company and make that announcement. That's all we had to do. And we would have been worth billions today.
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And we can find a car and a hill, and we're good to go.
Yeah, exactly. Put the camera on an angle so it looks like it's rolling on a flat surface. You're good, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's right, Sean. We're going to be making cars.
Oh man. I thought it had to have been like some coronavirus news or something.
Yeah.
We're gonna make electric vehicles. Okay.
Yeah. Exactly. That's all it needed.
Wow.
All the founder shares, they've been sold today, I'm sure.
Yeah. Exactly.
Over and over, probably 300 times.
Yeah. Whew. They were dropped from 22 to 19 in a heartbeat, or in several heartbeats.
Well, one heartbeat for like a blue whale.
Yeah, that's a good question. What would we call a car? We could call it the Spark. Has that been taken?
Yeah, I think GM has that, don't
Yeah, they have
No,
they have the Volt. Chevy Volt.
Somebody has a Spark. Somebody has a Spark. I've seen a car with a Spark. Oh, they have the Spark too? Okay, I thought so.
Oh, okay.
I think we need to call it, Brian. I think we should just test the markets and let's call it fake motors or something. Let's just call it. See if people still buy it. Yeah.
Let's call it. We'll call it Elfin 2.
Amp. How about Amp? We'll call it Amp
yeah,
Motors. That one hasn't come out yet. Because we're just going to amp it up.
Yeah, there. That's a good one. Amp. The amp.
Amp.
There you go. All right.
I like that.
I'm the name guy. I'll come up with all the names for you.
Yeah, no, that's a great name. The amp.
There we go. That can be our picture right there.
Yeah.
What's the ticker of? Is the AMP taken? Yep. No AMP. Actually, there is an AMP. It's Ameriprise.
Stole our ticker.
Yeah, they stole our ticker.
AMD.
Well, I don't know where things are. So SPY doesn't seem to want to go up, but it doesn't seem to want to drop anymore. So
I thought we were going to call it BMP Motors. I forgot.
Oh,
about
yeah.
that.
BMP.
Yeah.
Well, Brian, Peter, Mike.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, BMP.
Yeah,
there you go.
BMP.
Just taking along on Tesla. Speaking of electric vehicles and taking along on Tesla here. Looks like it's warming up a bit. All right, selling some here, 73. Let's see if we can get through 385 here. Come on, come on. You know you can do it. Right.
The SPY has seemed to have found its bottom. Whether it wants to go up or not is going to be a different story.
Selling 385.15. All right. Now let's see if we can get to 386. For my last little bit here.
You got a moving average coming across at 386 there.
Twitter had a decent day today.
Yeah, I was watching. I took one trade on Twitter earlier. Somebody pointed it out, and I had a decent short off the top.
Yeah, Twitter's up near high of day, isn't it? Isn't this $3? Isn't that near high of day right now?
High of day was another
46.80. Yeah.
Okay. I'm out of this Tesla trade. 384.79 on the rest. So I got a nice little pop on a couple hundred shares.
Yeah. So let's pull up the trade of the day.
So let's see. Yeah, somebody had a great trade on SPI.
Yeah, but they didn't post it to Twitter for us, so.
Okay, Megan
Speaking
short
of Twitter.
Yeah.
Said Megan is short Twitter right now.
Nice.
Well, it's really come back up from its high. Did you partial any down around 45, Megan? You should, that had a nice little drop off there. Would have been a good place to at least partial on a real hard sell-off like that. And then it did a huge doji right around 1509 in the afternoon. Had a big reversal doji. Oh, nice. Good one.
So the trade of the day goes to, I can't pronounce the name, so I'm just going to spell it for today. Adithya. Adithya? Maybe? I don't know. I'm terrible with names. But that is the trade of the day. Took 3 trades on Twitter following the flow of the market, actually. So got in on the bottom of the consolidation for the first leg up. Added when it pulled back, then partialed 50% up near the top as he had a daily level up there. When it pulled back down towards VWAP again, added a third time as it popped up, decided to get all out when he saw the volume kind of spike and it start to double top on him. Then he shorted the trade from that same resistance level back down to VWAP, covered his position, and then added back in when it rejected, or when it held VWAP, sorry, when it held VWAP, added a second time, and then partialed up near the high of the day. So,
Partial.
Excellent job on his part.
Mm-hmm.
Some thorough playing of that stock. I'm going to take a little bit more off here on Microsoft. Sorry, in the middle of that, I saw an opportunity to go short on Microsoft, so I took it.
Nice. So if you'd like a chance to enter for the trade of the week, which is an iPhone Pro 11, the one thing kind of changed the requirements a little bit. You still have to do a trade book, still take a screenshot of your trade, but instead of doing a replay video of the trade, Andrew's asking that you do an honest testimonial of your time with BBT. If you don't have a Twitter account, you can always create a makeshift Twitter account that's a ghost account that you can kind of post your trades on there. That way you don't get involved in the social media world if you don't want to. But mark them up, post your best trade to Twitter, tag at BearbullTraders, at MikeB_BBT, at NormBBT, and use the hashtag BBTFamily, day trading, and stock market. And we will reveal the winner of the trade of the week on Mondays and the trade of the day every day on the Closing Bell show. Last night we had a great webinar, Importance of Discipline, talked about why you need it in trading and how it can prevent you from blowing up your account and how it can be frustrating at times to stick to your rules. Next week we'll listen. Oh, go ahead, Peter.
I'm just going to mention against that, guys. Sometimes these webinars, they're not just for, first time through or if you're new. I was telling Mike earlier today, I've been to that webinar a couple of times, and yet yesterday it gave me some, advice. Mike gave me some advice that I needed, and it changed my trading. I didn't have a great day yesterday. Today I came back refocused and re-implemented some of my discipline, frankly, to stick to my strategies and only trade my strategies, and I've had a much better day today. So those things can act as refreshers for you as well, not only first time through, but sometimes maybe it's just me, but I'm the traditional person to whom you market. I have to hear it 3 or 4 times before it finally sinks in.
Yes. Next week, we'll have Nada talking about mindfulness and kind of self-reflection that can help you with identifying some of your problems. And then, Peter, you want to take over?
Yeah. Uh-oh. No sound, Peter.
Oh, I'm busy talking to myself. I was saying tonight, exciting thing tonight, Andrew is going to be leading our success webinar tonight to teach trading momentum at the open. He's going to talk about sort of how he trades at the open and run you through his strategy. As many of you know, because many of you got here by reading his book, his strategy has been evolving over time. And when you watch him in the morning, he's pretty good at managing and sticking to his strategy. Oh, and I'm taking a partial on Microsoft. Sorry. But he But he's going to show us sort of how his current thinking helps him continue to make profits in the markets and how you can take advantage of that. So that's going to be live on YouTube. So for all our friends who haven't yet signed up, this is an indication of the type of material that you get here at BBT. His probably will not be as good as mine, but he'll try. So if he's listening, don't fire me again. But it should be a great webinar, so look forward to that. 8 o'clock in our webinar room, or you can attend via YouTube. And then next week, this one, I just love the title. It should be interesting. Next week on the 30th, we're going to have a guest speaker with Mark Randall talking about a collection of the worst trades he's ever seen. So I think, it's funny. You learn more from your mistakes than your good trades, and this is probably going to be a very important lesson. Thank goodness we're going to learn from somebody else's mistakes, right? So that's often the best way to learn, because learning from your own is valuable, but not as much fun. So that'll be next week, 8 o'clock, again in the webinar room.
And all the webinars are recorded, so if you cannot make the webinars, then you can go back and see them later.
Right. Indeed.
Indeed, Peter, this is for you.
So, hopefully, for those of you on YouTube that might be joining us, or if you're on a temporary membership,
you lack discipline. Well,
going to be in the background there. Hopefully, you'll consider joining us in the room. Anyways, we've got 2 discount codes you can take advantage of. One would be a 1-week trial in the room for only $24. Use the code premarket24 to get that trial, and you'll get access to the chat room and the intro course, and it'll give you an idea of sort of how the room works, and hopefully that'll encourage you to join. And when you do decide to join full-time, we've got 35% off the one-time payment membership option. So use the code FALL35. I guess are we officially in the fall? I think we're officially in the fall.
Yes, we are. Fall was yesterday or the day before. Yes.
There you go. So you can anyways join us with the code FALL35 to get 35% off that one-time membership.
Whoa, Twitter really sold off. Wow.
Yeah.
Just cratered.
Taking another partial on Microsoft. I'm running out of shares here, but I'm waiting. I'm just waiting here.
Down to 200.
Yeah. I'm going to take it now.
MU is going to go red again.
Wow.
Peter, this is for you, though.
come on, stop whining. You kids are soft. You lack discipline. Well,
That's from
Kindergarten Cop.
Kindergarten Cop. I was trying to remember, is it Daddy Daycare? It's one of those, right?
Kindergarten Cop. You lack discipline.
Yeah.
I like that.
Classic. Only the best entertainment.
Only the best entertainment. I like. I listened to one. I spend my time, but I was listening to these. This one guy was doing crank calls, and all he had was like about 4 Arnold Schwarzenegger sayings. So the person would answer, and he'd play clips from Arnold. So they thought they were talking to someone. And the funniest one was he called a Hooters, I think it was. And he said, "You lack discipline." And she goes, "We don't do that here." Silly kids. All right, well, another little leg lower here, and now we're just definitely not going out on a very positive note here today. So
no.
And SPI, not to be confused with SPY, is leaking into the close as well. So maybe an indication that might not be a a good hold overnight. So we're getting perilously low to this Monday low as well.
Wasn't that stock at $1 today?
Yeah, well, I think that's where it started. I think in the morning, wasn't it?
Yeah,
SPI.
there it
What
is.
it up?
8 to 5.
That was the close last night.
What?
Yeah, it's at
Dollar
13. It's up 13.
09.
Yeah, it was at yeah, it was like it was $1 or something. Boy, somebody who had shares in that.
$9 at 7:58 this morning.
Even if you came back from, like Peter said, even if you came back from a fishing trip and checked your stocks at the end of the day, I'm sure you'd be crying to see your stock that was at $45, but couldn't even be unhappy if you come back and sell it at 13.
No, not at all.
If you were in at $1. That's a pretty good return for the day, for a day's work.
Yeah, so Chris P, to answer your question, if you go into the download section, if you click on the trading plan, you'll be able to find that Excel sheet that I used in that webinar, as well as the journal and everything else is in that location.
What is going on here? Yeah. This is a problem. Right.
Zen holding the SPPI. Hoping that people buy that instead of SPI.
Yeah, what did Nikola? People were trading Nikola. I know. Did it just get annihilated today or what? Oh God, yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's down
Crushed.
$7.50. Oof.
Crushed again.
And today, I'm getting all out, by the way, of Microsoft. I'm just going to take it off here. I think this was my best trade of the day.
Yeah, certainly got a nice little flush. We got a nice little flush here in the last 15 minutes or so on some stocks. SQQ, I'm gonna still got a few shares left. I think I'm gonna ditch them here. So what is the deal? Is it the fact that some of the countries are starting to shut down again? I know Israel made some comment. They're going into like total shutdown, and I think some of the European countries are considering sort of locking stuff down again. I know the UK has made some announcements recently about that as well, starting to close bars early. And but I think also there was an announcement the US said they weren't going to do that. So I don't know that we're selling, or I don't think we're selling off on anything other than that, are we?
They did have the 5 chairs speaking.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know if anything of note, did anything of note come out of that?
I didn't hear anything.
Yeah. Exactly, Greg. That's possible. I know we had that big, I think the big sell-off, wasn't the big sell-off last week because Powell didn't administer another dose of heroin to the market. He just said we're going to slow and steady on course.
There's the bell.
Yeah, I know. We saw the news on the UK for sure. Yeah, I know. Well, as I said before, the funny thing was, we were all in New York. The Bear Bull trading team was in
Yep.
New York just before things went crazy. I think we got out of Dodge just in time.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, end of February. Remember flying back on the plane and seeing people with masks on and thinking, what the heck is going on? No water bottles on their heads though. That
Yeah.
came later. Spaceman.
Spaceman. So not much on the earning front at all today. HB
Yeah, I was going to say
Fuller is our
nothing
only
much.
thing. Oh,
Okay.
let's pull this over. There you go, HB Fuller.
It's not doing anything.
Not much there. Tomorrow morning.
Yeah, what have we got for the morning here? How do we go out the day on SPI? 15.5. Still pretty active in the aftermarket. I would not be surprised to see this gap up in the morning. It'll definitely be in play, so I'll definitely be leaving it on the watch list for the evening. Peter's IPO BSY actually had a pretty good day today. Actually went out on the high of day.
Peter takes no responsibility for any of the IPOs. The IPOs are the property of the market, and the market determines what's going to happen with the IPOs. Please do not blame Peter for anything that happens. However, if you want to give him credit, please do so.
Okay, we'll give you credit for that one.
So,
But that actually bodes pretty well for the market on this tomorrow, don't you think? PSY.
Yeah, I like it when they end at a high. I mean, if you look, it's 15-minute chart is good because it shows a steady trend. You can see that trend much better. So on BSY, the volume was okay.
Yeah.
None of the others, they didn't do the same. GDRX was another IPO, and it had more of a spike up into the close, which is not a bad sign either. So that could be interesting to watch tomorrow as well. Or if you really wanted to get aggressive, you could try and overnight that. Usually they gap up, but not always, so you never know. Being that it's sitting right at $50.
Wow, it really spiked going into the close, didn't it? It actually spiked up over $51.50.
Yeah.
Now you can get it at 50.
Yep.
Yep. So yeah, those are the two that did relatively well today. LSF was the other one. It had a lower volume and wasn't as exciting. So.
Interesting. Okay. Well, it's yeah, like I said, market definitely not a very positive close. If you're a bull, this is we went out pretty much on the lows of the day on the SPY. So
I'm just looking at the conversation in the chat here. You guys talk about a car that's driven by wind energy. Isn't that a sailboat? We already have that transportation. Anyways.
Yeah, I
want to see the guy driving his wind-powered car as he tacks across the highway to try and get upwind.
That's where you really need the autonomous wind-driven cars.
Yeah, exactly.
So they all know which way they're going and which way they're tacking. Yeah. I don't know. I cannot guess where this market's going to go tomorrow. We basically went out on Monday's lows. Monday's low was 321.73, and I think we did get down. What did we get down to? 322.10. So we came pretty close to Monday's low. I'm going to say if we lose that level, boy, there's going to be another could be another flush here in the making. There's a moving average down at 310. There's some prior levels, gaps, and stuff back around 315. So it'll be interesting to see where we open tomorrow, whether we bounce again or sell off. It's going to be a kind of a pivotal moment to see how the market plays out tomorrow. So
Yes.
It's like,
yeah, go ahead.
No, mine was not relevant to the market. I was just, Lou was talking about sail. I love the quote here. I haven't heard that. Sailboat's the most expensive way to get somewhere for free. So it's like they say, if you're going to have a midlife crisis, which typically is associated with men, but anybody can have a midlife crisis. You want to avoid the rhyming anything that votes, floats, or eats oats. Right? You don't want.
Yeah, there you go.
So
anything that eats or floats. That's what. Yeah.
Votes, floats, or eats oats. So don't get yourself a boy toy or a mistress. Don't get a boat, and don't get a horse.
Well, I think I've had 2 out of those 3.
Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah,
leave it right there.
That's all we need.
To be clear, it was a horse and a boat.
No, I don't want to hear it. I just don't want whatever. I get to pick whichever 2 I want. There you go, Light. That's their new vehicle. I see. Is that the prototype?
An IPO car, yeah.
Yeah, I've always loved the irony of that, Craig. I mean, I've done it many times myself, but yeah, you do all this driving to go on a hike or whatever. I drive somewhere to camp. Just seems
all right.
All right, everybody.
I'm going to grab some grub here, and that was an entertaining. It was an entertaining market day. So, thanks all for joining us, Peter and Mike. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll catch you all tomorrow.
Thanks, Brian. Have a good night.
Cheers,
good
guys.
time to enter. So I will do the same, and we will see you guys tomorrow morning in the room when I open her up, as always, around 7:30. See you then. Later, Mike.